Welcome back again, everyone. Got another 1911 on the table here today. I previously had this gun comparing it to the SDS clone that is out there, very good clone in fact. But I promised a little closer look at this firearm and what we have going on with it. It's kind of an interesting firearm. There's so much history, so many variations on these guns. It takes a really much more of a collector than myself to really properly identify everything that is going on with them. I know enough to enjoy it, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video. In my previous SDS video, I showed that the magazine, and I have a pair of these. These are a little more on the pricey side for a magazine. You're going to be looking at probably the $60+ range to buy one of these. This is a general saver. This one happens to be, the other one I have is only marked on the top. You can see, get it right side up, there's a G right there by my thumb. And it's also where they're normally printed is on the top of the foot here. I don't know if we can get a view of that or not. I'll tilt it around. Hopefully you'll be able to see that G that is on top of the foot. That's normally where you'll find a maker's mark if it has one present. Some of them did not have them. Some of the Colt and I believe Remington magazines. Now there's two Remingtons to keep in mind, and that's important on this firearm. There's the Remington Union, which is the firearms company, and there's the Remington Rand. And the Remington Rand is the typewriter company who was pushed into, or had a contract to make these firearms. In fact, they made the most of these firearms. Now, this one has a Colt slide on it, but a Remington frame. The build date on it is 1943, so it has been re-arsenaled, and many of these got mixed parts in them, and I'll show you some of that. I showed some of this on the video with the SDS 1911, but we have the dark plastic grips, typical of that era. The lanyard ring, this one has a checkered back strap, and typical of the Colt markings on it with the rampant horse. Sometimes they were located back here, sometimes they were in a circle. There's many variations on those, and you can actually do quite a bit of studying to find that out on a World War II or World War I vintage 1911. And on this side you can see we have the typical Remington serial number. Now these serial numbers were identical for the Colts. They both produced overlapping serial numbers in this time period. And in fact, if you plug this serial number into the Colts website, it will come up as also as a 1943 gun, but it is a 1943 Remington. The NO, as you can see, is a large NO, and on a Colt the O would have been small, and that's a dead giveaway that this is a Remington firearm. The SA, it was re-arsenaled at Springfield Armory, and it does have the cross cannon cartouche on it right there, the ordnance marking. Now not all of them had this ordnance marking. Some had it, some are very light. This one is a little bit light. See a little bit of wear on the gun, but it's not terribly bad. It's the typical features of an A1 with the cutouts, the shorter trigger, and the nice checkering on the trigger. That's one thing that the clone did not have, was real good crisp checkering there. As I said, a checkered back strap instead of the serrated one. Both were available and used. And the front sights, thicker front sight on the A1 than the 1911. the shorter hammer, and it actually is almost straight instead of the curved back that you'll find on a 1911. There's the P mark with this rear sight alignment mark on it. So that's all I wanted to do, was just show you a close-up of an authentic World War II, not dive into the history too much, and because there's so much to them, so many variations and collectible parts. The offset, such as the offset seam on the General Shaver magazines, you can see there that's unique to a General Shaver. If you have one, it will have that offset seam instead of being straight up and down the center. So many variations, but what a fun aspect of collecting these historic firearms, especially from 1943, right in the high point, or low point if you want to, of World War II. Definitely been there, done that, probably more than once. So thanks for watching. We'll get back to you with some more interesting historical and modern firearms. So see you next time.